Okay, so in this video I'm going to go through a quick demonstration on how to use the concepts of overriding methods for the sole purpose of the Java exam. So jump straight in. I'm going to create a new class where I'm going to create my instances. So I'm going to say main class and I'm going to give it the main method and give that a save. Get rid of all the comments, tidy it up a little bit. Alright, good. What I'm now going to do is create a superclass. So superclass, object class, that's fine. So save this. What I am going to put in here is a particular method. So I'm going to say protected void a method. So protected, given the fact that it can be accessed by other methods, other instances of classes, as long as it stays the same in the same package. There's another video on that if there's more information that you need from that. But what I'm going to do here is create a protected method, and now I'm going to create a new subclass. So if I go to File, New Class, Subclass. Within as a superclass, I'm actually going to be more specific. So I'm going to say superclass is actually my superclass method object, class rather. So superclass, and give that a save for when it loads up. So when I stated that the actual superclass is going to be my superclass class. If that all made sense. Basically what it's doing is just extending, this class is extending this superclass. So when that happens, I'm just inheriting all the methods that are subject to, to their accessibility. Right. What I'm now going to do is create a instance of a subclass. So superclass sc1 equals new subclass. Right. One thing to note is that I have absolutely nothing within this class, but because I extend it, I am inheriting the methods that are available to me. So you can see this one here, the top one is the A method, which is actually in the superclass. I have access to all the other out-of-the-box methods that you get through the object class, which I'll go through in a bit. But what I'm going to do is click the A method. So when I give this a save and give this a run, you know what? I probably should put some information in here to say that it's actually the overriding method. This is the overriding method superclass. So take 2. So when I run that again, maybe a take 3. No, take 2. So I create a new subclass instance because it's contractually agreed that it will inherit all the methods. If it doesn't exist in the subclass, it will inherit the superclass method and use that instead. So you can see here, even though I'm creating a new subclass instance, it's actually returning back the string value I've just put in the superclass. Now for the overriding methods. So let's say there are 3 concepts to remember when overriding a method. Let's just before I continue, this is a method subclass. When I run this, it now returns back the method and it simply ignores or overrides that superclass method that I initially inherited. 3 things to take into account. One is the access control modifier, access modifier rather. It has to be either the same restriction or a less restricted access. So given the fact that this is protected within the superclass, this can either be protected or public. Give that a run, and it all works fine. If it wasn't, so if it was private, it would actually throw a compiling error. So simply not compiling. So one good thing to do is just to put in the notification that this is actually an overriding method. So once I put in that method, the actual compiler knows, well, hang on a minute, you're actually trying to override this method. You can't, because it's a more restricted access. So what you need to do is make it less restricted. This is obviously optional, but it's often good practice just to add it in there as part of the coding as well. Secondly is the return value. So the return value has to match the same. So I can't put in a return value of string and then put in return a string value. It simply won't compile. It's stating here that it's overriding the superclass, but it's not compatible with that class itself. So it has to be either the superclass is a string or this one is a void. So I'll return that, and I'll get rid of this return line there. The other thing to note is that this has to be the same type and number of parameters passed. Has to be the same as the method before. So I can't just put in a, you know what, I'll do in the superclass. I can't put in a string s, because again it's indicating that it's an overriding method, and it's stating that you simply can't do that. So 3 things to take into account. I'm just going to remove this. So give that a save. So the access modifier has to be the same or less restricted. The return time has to be identical, and then the number and the type of passed values in the method has to be the same as the overriding method there. One thing to go through is that you can see here the public class doesn't extend any other classes. Truth be told, it actually does, but there's no reason just to explicitly highlight it. So what you can do is add in the extends object. So the extends object is obviously any classes constructed around this one object. If I go into the declaration, you can see all the methods that are associated to this. So the equals sign, the equals method, clone, notify all. It's more around threads. One thing I do want to find is the toString. This one here. So if I go back to my main, and if I type in sys out sc1, what I'm trying to do is run the toString method, and because of that, it actually returns back this value here. And basically what this means is that this is the actual class, the @sign, and then it's a hash code made by an hexadecimal value, which is stated within here. So you can see here that because none of my other classes have this toString method, it's actually returning the class name, @sign, and then the actual value here. One thing to note is that you can override these classes. So in the superclass, I can put public void toString. give it a body. It has to be a string. Return below, and then what I'm going to do is just be lazy, grab that, put that there. Oh. Very good. Overriding it. Give it an override notification. Alright, so now if I actually, one thing just before I run that, if I simply use this within the subclass, give that a run, you can see here, let's tidy that up a bit. You can see here, now that I'm creating a new instance of the subclass, I'm now using that particular string value return. If I took this out and gave it a run, so I'm now relying on the higher classes. What with it being, okay, it's already there. Fantastic. So because the toString is actually in the superclass, it's inheriting that, but then using the same string here. One thing to note about the toString method is that this has to be public. It can't be protected, because what I'm doing is putting a more restricted access onto the overriding method within the object class. It's actually public, so I can't be more restricted on an overriding method. So that subsequently throws a compiling error. Another thing to note is that you'll probably noticed before is that the toString method always returns back a string, and for the reason that we're overriding this toString, this is a string value within the object class here. So this can't be anything else, an integer, double, etc. It has to be a string, and you have to return the string value as well. You can't return void because subsequently that won't override the toString method. So let me pull that all back. Yep. Oh, and the return. Hello. Okay, good. Alright guys, that's it. I hope that helps. Please like the video. It's taken me a bit of time to do this. But I hope this helps. Okay, good luck guys, and have a good day.